now invite Tommi to continue the case for the opposition. What we've heard up till now is like a debate which is set in the past. We've heard about Yasser Arafat, we've heard about the 1948 war, we've heard about Zionism, the Balfour Declaration, but what I want to do is bring the debate back into the present, which is where the motion is set, by talking about the culture that exists within within Palestine itself, and what kind of structure Hamas leadership, Palestinian leadership is. What we've heard from the first speaker from the proposition is that were Fatah and Hamas to lay down their arms, there would be no war, and there'd be complete peace, which is of course completely true. But the debate is about Palestinian leadership, and I believe that if the Palestinian leadership were to say, we will stop conflict, that would simply not occur, due to the power that the members of these terrorist organizations, like the low-down members, the grassroots members, exert over the leadership. Were like the current leaders of Hamas to say, we will try to push for a two-state solution, the people who have been indoctrinated their whole lives, we heard from the second speaker that Palestinian media glorifies terror and violence. These people do not want war, regardless of whether Hamas leadership says that they deserve peace. So when we're talking about a barrier to peace, a barrier is something which, once it is removed, there should be peace. And were you to remove Palestinian leadership completely, there would still not exist peace. And that has been shown by the repeated assassinations of high-up Hamas leaders. Why is it that despite Hamas leadership getting completely gutted out through airstrikes, through assassinations, there is still no peace in Gaza, there is still no peace in Israel, there's still no peace in Lebanon to some extent? This is because the general terrorist members, the ordinary citizen who, due to their hatred of Israel, due to seeing their neighbour's house flattened, it is due to these people that there exists war, and I don't believe that Hamas leadership has any agency in stopping war. So what is a barrier to peace? Well, firstly, a barrier to peace could be a party which directly engages in or supports war. This could be like, of course, Hamas, because they began the October 7th war, but it could also be a party which refuses to engage in a peace process, which is what I believe Israel is currently doing, especially with Benjamin Netanyahu. And what is this peace process I'm talking about? It's not only the stopping of conflict and like establishment of a ceasefire, but it is also peace building, the establishment of a legitimate government which will prevent future conflict, and the setting up of institutions to self-regulate the people that reside within whichever territory. And more than that, it's a societal reconciliation, which neither side is engaging in. So, if I've told you neither side is engaging in peace, but why does that mean that Palestinian leadership is not the greatest barrier to peace? Because I believe it comes down to two things: will and ability. I don't believe Palestinian leadership has any ability to create peace. Were they to, as I've already told you, if they were to say, we will lay down our arms, their members simply would not follow that. And even if Hamas itself was completely destroyed, there'd just be another terrorist group committed to carrying out the same atrocities that would crop up in its place. However, I believe the Israeli government does have ability to create peace. We all know Israel is like a member of the UN, it has international recognition, it has backing from the international community, the US funds it, as well as like other countries. Like if Israel were to want to establish like Palestinian statehood, they could easily get the support from their international partners. They could get funds. More than that, Israel has. Go ahead.
How does Israel establish Palestinian statehood when the Palestinians keep refusing a state?
I believe that Israel is failing to engage directly with the Palestinian people, rather than engaging with Hamas, which will obviously always refuse compromise. Israel should make an appeal directly to the Palestinian people, which it is failing to do. continuing on, Israel has several governmental institutions. It has an established civil service, it has judiciary, and these are all tools which it could use to establish peace in the region. But why does Israel not have a will to create peace, in my opinion? Well, what we've seen is that Benjamin Netanyahu personally benefits from war. He is currently going through corruption trials, which are being delayed due to his continued tenure as Prime Minister, and he has politically benefited in the popular support from the expansion of war into new fronts in Lebanon. So this is a person who does not want to engage in peace, primarily because it suits him personally. So, what about Hamas then? We've heard a lot about Israel. What is Hamas? I believe it's purely a reactionary terrorist group. It would not exist if the Palestinian people were in different circumstances. It is purely a reaction to the perceived injustices that have faced Palestinian people. And further on to that, Palestinian identity, Palestinian nationality was created exactly as a response to Israel and Zionism. Like you've seen before, while Palestine was under Ottoman control, there was no sense of Palestinian nationality. The people of the region, Palestinian identity was only a geographic thing. People identified as Arabs, not as Palestinians. So what Hamas is a purely reactionary force, which is responding to what the Palestinian people see as wrongdoing. So obviously Hamas has a lot of popular support. In fact, it was elected by popular support by all Palestinians in 2006. And it is merely a representation of what some Palestinian people think and desire. It carries out the will of the people, one could say. But on the other hand, polling has shown that 90% of Palestinian people don't believe that October 7th atrocities actually occurred. And why is this? Well, as Proposition already told us, Palestinian people are indoctrinated into believing that their leaders are completely good. So what we see is that the people don't have a desire to engage in peace. So what should Israel do to this? Should do about this? Well, with Netanyahu out of the government, it is likely that the leader of the opposition, I'll butcher the name, but Yair Lapid.
Yair Lapid.
Yeah, him, would become in government. And he is someone who has said he's committed to a two-state solution, even after October 7th. So what should be clear to you by now is that with the removal of Hamas as an organisation, with the removal of Palestinian leadership, there would not be peace, because the people have believed that Israel is an occupying force, and they would oppose any move towards peace. But with the removal of Netanyahu, it is likely that a peace process will start to occur, which is what everyone should hope for.